He doesn't eat pizza anymore. He doesn't ever eat sweets. He doesn't eat chocolates. He doesn't have candies, desserts. He eats perfectly. How long do you think he can do that? He's halfway through his diet. Motivation strong. He's in a brownie video. I think he can do it. What about after?
This is my friend John, and he currently weighs 119.7 kilograms.
But he wants to lose 20 kilograms in the next 90 days.
Here's the first problem. His goals, they're too lofty. He wants to lose 20 kilograms in 90 days. That's 44 pounds. Let's round it off. 45 pounds in 90 days is a half a pound a day. Not a week, a day. And so when you have lofty goals such as this, most likely, what do you think you're going to lose? Of course, you're going to lose some fat, but you're also going to lose some muscle. When you start out a diet like this and you're obese, which he absolutely is. He's 6'2" and 120 kilograms. It's perhaps 264 pounds, give or take. And so if you lose weight this quickly, at the end, you're going to be skinny fat. Essentially, you lose a lot of the muscle, but not enough of that is actually coming from fat. And so even though you can lose a half a pound a day, it doesn't mean that you should.
It was time for his first workout to show him what is really needed to see progress.
This is what a set should look like. Okay, do one more. Nope.
If you start out on a workout journey, you don't have to train to failure to make progress. You just literally have to show up. And if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose the weight. And so although I admire his intensity, how hard he's willing to push himself, he doesn't really need to. All he needs to do is start doing some cardio, perhaps some zone 2, walking briskly at his level of body fat would probably be enough. That combined with, I could partner up with Brownie, start giving these guys my cookbook. I mean, there'd be no stopping him. After all, you can, of course, hire Brownie. He's got a 90-day transformation challenge. And so if you hook up with Brownie and add in my friggin' cookbook, there's no stopping you. And if that isn't enough, add in some of my GLP Max and GO2 Max and, of course, the Turk, and the results are going to be unreal.
And I've went through lots of sort of crash diets, but I've never sustained it for longer than probably 30 days.
He says it himself. I've gone through tons of diets, crash diets, which is exactly what this is, and I end up regaining the weight. I can only usually stick to it for 30 days. Now, he's being filmed for 90 days. Motivation is high. Brownie, he's got over 10 million followers. Millions of people are going to see this video. And so, of course, he can lock in for 90 days. But what happens after the 90 days? We've all seen The Biggest Loser where they lose 300-400 pounds. And what happens after the show is over? They regain a lot of the weight, and oftentimes more weight than they started with. And so I fear that this is going to happen with this guy that no one's heard of. His name is John Nellis with 13 million followers. I think that's what's going to happen to him.
One of John's big workout goals is to be able to do one pull-up without any help at all in these 90 days.
And so it's not surprising he can't do a pull-up. The average man cannot do a pull-up. And he weighs 120 kilograms. It's 260 plus pounds. It's a lot of weight. And so if he does lose 20 kilograms, he's going to be significantly lighter by approximately 16-17%. And so absolutely, it'd be much easier to get up to that bar.
Because when I'm not there and he is flying across the world the entire time, it can be really hard to lose weight.
Yes, it is harder to lose weight when you're always traveling because there's less structure, but it's actually still easy. I know what you're thinking. Well, what do you mean it's easy? It's harder. All you have to do to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. That is the only thing that needs to happen. And so whether or not you're exercising, doing cardio, lifting weights, eating a healthy diet, so as long as you're taking in fewer calories than you're burning off, you will in fact lose weight. And so it's very easy.
John told me he flies 3 to 4 times per week, and all these trips will make sticking to his routine insanely difficult. But for a few days, he's back home again.
He's flying 3 or 4 times a week. Bro is almost a pilot at this point. And so he has to be able to carry healthy foods with him as he goes. Or when he is on the road traveling, he needs to eat fewer calories than last time. Just because you're on a plane, eating restaurants and so on, doesn't mean you can't consume fewer calories than last time.
I think that's a good first dinner cooked for myself.
And it's already starting to pay off.
Oh my word.
He's 7 days in and he's already lost 4 kilograms. It's almost 9 pounds. It's too much. When you first start a diet, yes, you are going to lose more weight than normal because you're using water weight. That's the glycogen that's forming water and carbs in your muscles. But 4 kilograms, it's too much. He's most certainly at this point on a crash diet, or call it a starvation diet, and is slowly going to lose muscle. Now, the fact that he's also lifting weights, it's going to help to slow down that muscle loss. But imagine if he ate more food and did the exact same thing and extended that weight loss to, for example, instead of trying to do it in 90 days, he did it in 120 days, 150 days. He would lose all of that weight, and the majority of it would be from body fat instead of losing perhaps about a third of it from muscle.
John, of course, continues working on that first pull-up and also cooking skills.
I've realized something this morning. I am shocking at making pancakes. But other than that, I'm feeling really good.
And so if you're not a highly skilled chef, you can, of course, get my beginner anabolic cookbook 3.1. For people that don't know how to cook, there's delicious pancake recipes, French toast recipes, recipes for everything. And if you're more advanced, go and check out Will Tennyson's cookbook. Has amazing recipes. I'm eating several of those. And so basically I've combined cookbooks at this point. I'm eating from Will's book and eating from my book. And so if you can get both, but at least pick one of the two books.
In the airport now, about to go on a 7-hour flight, and I need to find food. Wish me luck. Struggling on the menu.
Which is why he sent me a message and asked me what to choose. And we actually found a decent meal.
Now, if you're traveling or on the go, of course you're going to pick up the Kaiko bars, code CICO. It's 50% off. You want $20 for a dozen bars that are low in calories with 20 grams of protein. You can't go wrong. The taste is impeccable. I do believe it's the best tasting bar on the market. And so if you're interested in the bars, of course, code CICO.
Eating the right food is getting harder and harder. So now John has to spend even more days waiting and eating hotel food.
Just because you're eating hotel food doesn't mean you have to pick a bunch of shit food to eat. You don't need to eat fries. You want to eat protein, but the salads, you can say dressing on the side. And so it doesn't have to be this bad. Look at this. Fats, 40 grams. Carbs, 12. Protein, 60. Last I checked, there's more than 12 grams of carbs in a meal involving French fries. And so does anyone think that this meal is only 648 calories? Like, it's a plate of fries and 3 shish kebabs, salad full of oil, and whatever bread is underneath. It's probably 1,200 calories, probably double what is being depicted. And so if his weight ever plateaus, or if yours does, maybe you're not actually tracking your calories correctly. And so if you don't know how to track calories, it's already done in the book. Everything is listed out. It makes it simpler than last time. And even if you don't get the book, just track your weight each and every week. And if the weight isn't going down, you know you just need to add more cardio. It's really that simple. Now, if you don't have any more time to add more cardio, then just stop looking at your phone so much. What did you think I was going to say? That you should just do something else? No. If you don't have any more time to do more cardio, then stop being an idiot. Stop being a moron and just start doing more cardio. Oh, you really think an hour of cardio a day is too much to invest? Oh, you don't got time for a whole hour? 1 hour. The more hours of cardio that you're doing, essentially, up to a point, it's going to add years to your life. And so by spending more time now doing the cardio, you get to live longer later. And so do you get the trade-off? Oh, I don't have time. Well, when you're going to die, you're going to be thinking, I wish I'd listened to Coach Greg and I wish I'd done my cardio. And so if you want to be here for a long time, improve your quality and quantity of life, you got to do your cardio.
I'm supposed to train in Ronaldo's gym today. It hasn't happened, so it's a day that I haven't trained. The problem is we have a video we want to do where we train in the gym at their stadium. It's been very hard to get in to do it, so...
You don't need to train every day. You're just going to have to do cardio. Ronaldo's gym was closed. The gym was closed. The hotel's closed. It's closed. Can you open the door to your house and go outside and go for a walk, a jog, bike ride? You don't need to train all the time. And how often should you be lifting weights? Twice a week. That's all you need to do. There's 7 days a week. Listen, I was a professional bodybuilder and I lift weights 2 days a week. You can't find 2 days a week to train your full body. You just go from one set to the next. It doesn't have to be longer than last time. And so 2 hours a week of lifting weights and perhaps the other 5 days you do an hour of cardio is 7 hours a week. That's all you need to do to be fit. And I don't just mean all right. I mean fit, healthy, vibrant, energetic, the kind of man or woman that your friends are like, I wish I could be like that person. An hour a day is all that it takes.
John asked me what to do, and it would be smart to get a leg workout in right away in the morning to make sure he at least hit those muscles while still having enough energy to do an upper body workout later for his video.
You don't need to do a lower body workout in the morning and upper body workout later in the day and get your gym in and this. Just go and do some cardio at any time. If it's first thing in the morning, it's first thing in the morning. Get up and drink your coffee or get Blue Lobstered in the gym, get some energy, some pre-workout, and just get to it. An hour. Burn off some calories. Get your heart rate up. It isn't all that hard.
And it's time to get stuck back in.
And even though John had to skip workouts and basically guess his calories the past week, he still managed to be in a calorie deficit.
Look at this.
And so he didn't need to skip his workouts if he just didn't plan so many in the first place. Does bro need to be on a 5-day split? Does he need to be upper lower on Mondays, this and that? No. Train your full body twice a week and everything else do cardio. And you don't use excuses of skipping workouts. If you're going to skip a workout, just skip, as in the rope, and that counts as cardio.
But with day 30 being close, he notices something that makes him doubt.
I swear to God. Just weighed in, and I weigh the same that I weighed a week ago. How is that possible?
How is that possible? Well, let me explain. You perhaps were dehydrated when you weighed yourself before. You weren't eating any carbs, and now you're eating a little bit more carbs, which store more water. It can have more glycogen, and so your weight's going to be up. You could be just bloated. You could be traveling. You could be retaining fluids. Or you might not be dieting and in a calorie deficit anymore. You might have fallen off the wagon, so to speak. And so it's very easy to not lose weight each and every week. This is why I suggest you weigh yourself each and every day in the morning, at least 5 days a week, and take the median weight. That's the middle number. Compare it week to week, and if it isn't going down, for example, his isn't going down, you have to make some changes. Add some cardio. I don't have time for cardio. I don't believe you. Add more cardio. That's the answer, and shut up.
Is already looking a lot slimmer.
And you're saying you don't see a difference.
I need to see side-by-side photos.
And so let me point out that I think he's holding on a handle to give him his body fat percentage, which is 100% inaccurate. It's just a guess. It's not even valid whatsoever. But he is starting out at perhaps 40% body fat, which is obese. It's not morbidly obese, but it is a lot of fat that he has to lose. And so he's weighing over 260 pounds. To get to his ideal weight, he probably has to get somewhere into the 180s, and you're thinking that's impossible. Trust me, given time, he absolutely could do it without even struggling. This is essentially a crash diet. It's very, very fast. And so if you were to slow this down, instead of making it a 90-day challenge, it was a 180-day challenge, I believe he could get to his ideal weight in that time without losing all of his muscle.
Behind me is a surprise party for my dad's 59th birthday. Just picked up a cake that I ordered for him, all the rest. But I'm not going to be eating cake. I'm going to be drinking vodkas with Coke Zeros.
And so he's doing the smarter thing. And, you know, to go along with his poison, he's not going to add in any sugar to that. He's just going to drink pure poison, which is alcohol, of course. We know it's a class 1 carcinogen. I'm not saying you can't consume this, but make healthy choices. He only has 6 or 7 drinks, and so it's not really all that bad. I'm not saying that you cannot drink. I'm just saying that if you do, you're an idiot. But I mean, we all have our vices. We all do stupid things. And so, hey, you got to do what you got to do. And so by drinking diet pop to go with his alcohol and sugar-free alcoholic beverages, it's going to be significantly lower in calories. And so I do believe that you can still drink alcohol and still stick to your diet. It's about being realistic. I don't think it's realistic for most people who are drinking alcohol to just suddenly stop and or quit. And so, hey, keep it in moderation.
That thing's happening again where I'm plateauing. I'm like not losing weight again for like the last 5 days.
And so you can see his weight's plateauing for 5 days. But one of the reasons for that is because he's losing weight so drastically in 1 week. And so his body has almost no choice but to balance off in the next. He lost 4 kilograms in the first week. And so you're not going to continue to see those numbers plummet as quickly as is in the first week. Have realistic goals and expectations. Losing 0.5 to 1% of your weight each and every week, that would be realistic. And so for a man of this size, it would be approximately 0.6 to perhaps 1.2 kilograms, maybe 3/4 of a pound to 2.5 pounds a week. That would make sense. Anything more than that, you're biting off more than you can chew.
The big problem with this, there's a problem every week. There's a party every week, or there's a flight every week, or there's a New York, or there's something.
And the next one is already there.
Parties, weddings, going to the club each and every week does not have to derail your fat loss. All you have to do is stay in a calorie deficit. And so really, the only problem is if you're hungry. Have you tried GLP Max? It reduces your appetite by about 28%. Go from being an 8 out of 10 hungry to a 6. It's more manageable. Now, if it isn't manageable, perhaps you've tried to diet 20 times and every time you put the weight back on, and the reason is you're just so freaking hungry. Essentially, it's not your fault. If you're doing the cardio, you're lifting weights, you're eating healthy, and you're still hungry, it really isn't your fault. Your body has ghrelin. It's a hunger hormone. It also has leptin. It's going to make you less hungry. If you have too much ghrelin, you're going to be very, very hungry all the time. When you lose weight, ghrelin goes up, you're going to be hungrier. And so if you want that to stop, have you ever heard of Ozempic? Have you heard of tirzepatide or perhaps Retta? I should point out that Retta is not actually available. It can't be prescribed by a doctor as of yet. And so you probably shouldn't be using that unless you don't care. Hey, do what you got to do. But at Algorex, they have doctor prescribed medications that you can get. It's significantly cheaper than their competition, for example, Merrick Health. And when you see the price comparison, you're going to literally be thinking, I can't believe they're that much cheaper. And so if you really want to save some money, you go to Algorex. You get the GLPs. Do you need enclomiphene? Did you get your blood work done? Are your testosterone levels too low? Do you need beta blockers? Do you need telmisartan? What exactly do you need? They have so many various medications to improve your health, peptides, and so on. And it's not from some sketchy research chemical site. And so head over to Algo now, code Greg, 10% off.
I'm starting to get a wee bit nervous about tomorrow. It's a wedding, and I just know it's going to be a long day with very few good choices I can make. I just don't want to be set back too much.
And so imagine if bro was on Ozempic. Do you know how easy this would be? He would literally be making this video and saying, you know, I'm not all that hungry. I eat when I'm hungry. I'm sticking to the diet. It's pretty easy. The weight's coming off exactly 2.5 pounds a week. I do what I want. I think after the 90 days, I'll just lose another 10 kilograms. I'll get my body fat percentage down to 15% and I'll just go about my day. If you want it to be that easy, GLP. If you want the challenge and yeah, I like to suffer, I'm going to work out harder than last time, by all means, you can do you. I don't use Ozempic. I race on bikes 10 hours a week. I lift weights twice a week. I eat from my freaking cookbook. If you want the challenge, do it without the Ozempic. Do it without tirzepatide. Hey, I don't judge, but if you do want to use a GLP, Algo RX or go see your doctor. But you don't need to do it on your own.
What do I eat now? Yeah, chicken. Do I eat pizza anymore?
No.
No pizza for me. What about sweets and chocolate?
No.
And so he doesn't eat pizza anymore. He doesn't ever eat sweets. He doesn't eat chocolates. He doesn't have candies, desserts. He eats perfectly. How long do you think he can do that? He's halfway through his diet. Motivation strong. He's in a brownie video. I think he can do it. What about after? And as hungry as is as 110 kilograms, imagine how hungry he's going to be when he's 100 kilograms. Or what about if he ever goes to 90, 85? And so you can see the problem. Yeah, right now he can handle it. He's in a starvation diet. He's highly motivated. He's cut out all the junk. But eventually, all good things come to an end, and his hunger is going to be slapping him in the face saying, eat.
The past days went great, so John steps on the scale, expecting really good progress.
I do not believe this.
I find it interesting to see guys who are losing weight even faster than they should. He's losing weight about double the speed that I would recommend, but yet you see how often he's frustrated during this video because the weight's the same. I don't care who you are. Don't look at the scale every single day and think, yeah, it has to go down. Some days it's up, some days it's down. It's like the stock market. Are you really going to look at the stock market every single day? And if the Dow Jones didn't go up, you're going to start getting pissed off that your stocks aren't worth more money? If it's going up more days than it goes down, it's in the right direction. That's all that you need. And so for your weight, as long as generally speaking, over the course of the weeks, months, it goes down, that's all you need.
I have in my life been diagnosed with gout, and what that means is my ankle swells up from time to time and is very painful. I just woke up today and I can barely walk.
And so for gout, you take allopurinol. It's these orange little capsules, and you take that every day, and that prevents the uric acid from building up. Most likely you're eating too much meat and or shellfish. For me, it was too much ham, and I would get these flare-ups. It was horrible. I would sleep in the middle of the night. The blanket would touch my toe, and it would wake me up. It was horrendous. But then on flare-ups, you can take colchicine. And so listen, there's medication for this. Why are you suffering for nothing? To the same extent, if you can't figure out how to lose weight and you're suffering, you're watching this and you're 50 or 100 pounds overweight and you just can't stick your diet, there's Ozempic, there's tirzepatide. It's called a GLP. And so if you have gout, Fix it.
Some more bad news. The bad news is that I have an injury in my right shoulder. I don't really know what it is. All I know is when I'm doing a bench press or pushing anything, I feel a pain.
If that's happening to you, you're getting injured, it's better to train around the injury. So for example, if your shoulders are hurting, you can train everything but your shoulder. Do lighter weights. Don't maybe go so heavy, trying to do sets of 5, 6, 7, 8 reps. Very, very heavy. And so if you go a bit lighter and use good form, you're less likely to get injured. But if you are too injured, you can't train anything. You got your cardio. You take your time off the gym from doing the weights and you let those joints recover and you stick to doing cardio.
But everything John learned about food so far, combined with me and my team helping him wherever we can, is making him choose the right things.
Old John used to absolutely devour these things.
When you're traveling at the buffet, just don't eat the carb-heavy products. Eat mostly fruits and vegetables and Greek yogurt. Take low-fat products. And you can eat at a buffet. It isn't all that hard, but if you're eating meals, lots of carbs, pastas, and so on, especially things cooked with oil, and combining that with all those delicious desserts, it's not gonna be good. Unless, of course, you're on a GLP and you're only half as hungry as you were, it's not even that hard.
5K complete.
But it seems like this run actually wasn't that good of an idea.
It's been 2 days since the run and my lower back is killing me.
Remember, it's progressive overload. If all you're doing is walking, don't just think, oh, I'm gonna go out for a 5-kilometer run on my very first day. Perhaps start walking faster on an incline or jog maybe 1 kilometer, walk a kilometer, start slowly, and over time you can add more. So if running is too hard, you got to do zone 2 cardio. It's a moderate pace, not something where you're feeling winded, where you're sore the next day. It should feel repeatable. And so if you're doing your cardio and the next day you're sore from that cardio, it probably was too hard. It should be at a pace you can maintain daily, consistently, that burns calories and allows you to get in better shape.
I think your arms look big. Let's measure them. It was 40 centimeters on day 1, and today, 38 centimeters, so you only lost 2 centimeters.
And so his arms are down 2 centimeters, almost an inch, but that is to be expected. There is, in fact, fat on your arms, biceps, and triceps. And he's done an amazing job. However, he has lost muscle. He's lowered his body fat from perhaps 40% body fat to, let's say, somewhere in the low 20s, but he still could stand to lose a little bit more. But remember, he needs to stretch it out. If this is as much fat as he loses and he keeps it here for the rest of his life, I feel like that's good enough. For a guy who was at 40% and gets it below 25%, that is a huge improvement. But if he does have increased goals to keep pushing himself harder, I would suggest that he adds in more calories into his diet so that he doesn't lose any more muscle. He should try to lose approximately 0.5% of his body weight, which is about 1 pound or half a kilogram each and every week. And that is enough. And so it's not quick weight loss, but it is sustainable. If he tries to keep losing weight this quickly, he's going to end up being just skinny fat. He's going to lose the muscle that he does have left, and it isn't going to be a very good look.
You went from 119.7 kilograms to today, 99.6 kilograms.
He reached his goal of being under 100 kilograms in 90 days. But what's more important is, will he maintain his weight under 100 kilograms for the next 90 days? That is the true test.
Your metabolic age.
39.
What do you hope it is today?
I hope I'm 32. That's my age. I'm 30!
30 years old!
And so his metabolic age went from 39 to 30. 9 years. And so technically, this 90-day challenge may have added 9 years to his life. His body is healthier. It has less body fat. I'm certain his VO2 max is up. He's stronger. And so it most certainly was worth it. Was it the perfect diet? Of course not. No diet is perfect. But it's so much better than not doing it that it was absolutely worth it. And so the only goal is, can he continue? And so if he is struggling, of course, I would recommend the cookbook. I would recommend the HDLT supplements. Bro could get on the GO2 max to improve his cardio, and of course the Turk to get more muscle. If he's struggling, he can go to his doctor or perhaps Algorex and get the GLPs and various other things that go along with his blood work to make sure that his body is healthy.
These are all the numbers. They speak for themselves. This guy got insanely fit, lost 20 kilograms. He got 10 years back of his life.
And so his starting weight, somewhere between 35 and 40% body fat, and his end weight, probably somewhere close to 25%. The scale, it's going to tell you that he was 31%. It's a complete guess, and it's wrong. He's way fatter than that. And the end result, 26%, which is, well, probably a closer guess. But I would be very discouraged if I lost 20 kilograms, about 45 pounds, and my body fat only dropped by 5 percentage points. That would be an embarrassment. That would be a complete flop of a diet, but I don't believe it to be true. So if you're interested in being coached by Brownie, go check out his channel. You can hire him, of course. If you want to get coached by myself, you can click the link. You want to carry my supplements, the link. If you want to get sponsored or be an ambassador, you click the link for HGLT supplements. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Hope you learned something. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And until next time, I am out.